Well, today we thought we'd answer some questions that people have put to us.
Yes, so firstly, we just thought we'd go, this is going to be episode 2, so we're going to focus on the importance of growing your network and what that's meant for us. But as with all the posts, we ask if anyone has any questions like Tasha said, so we thought we'd start with those. So, first question, which Tasha has kindly let me answer, is, we was asked, what is your opinion on what Brexit is currently doing to the housing market and the rental market? So, we are by no means experts on this field, but we can only add in what we're kind of seeing. So, not sure if it's Brexit related or not, but one thing we are seeing, in particular because our house is on the market at the moment, and we had it on the market last year to get off the market and put it back on, there's been a slight change in the way that buyers are approaching the market. So last year, when we put it on, it felt like we was getting a lot of interest, but not many people actually putting forward offers. Whereas, and again, around the housing estate that we live on, there was a lot of houses up for sale last year, but nothing was really selling. Whereas this year, a lot of the houses are now sold. And we're seeing that people are actually offering less for the properties. So there was a great talk on this the other day by one of our friends called Khalid. He runs a video cast himself, and he had a broker on there. And the broker was talking about how the market is different at the moment. It's turning into a bit of a buyer's market. So this coincides with what we're seeing with our house. In that this time last year, or a couple of years ago, you were having like 8 or 9 people per house looking to buy a house. Whereas now we're actually seeing 2 to 3 people per couple of houses. So you can see how that's completely changed. So the power is with the buyer. So they're knocking the house prices down because they've got power with the market. So that's one thing we're seeing. So it's turned into a bit of a buyer's market. House prices have still gone up the last couple of years, and they still continue to go up this year. But I think recently that's where the change has been. So it might be that obviously we've been about 12 years since the last recession. Whether there's one coming, who knows? Don't know. But this is just what we're seeing personally. By no means experts on this.
People are saying that there's one coming.
Yeah, they've been saying it for a few years. On average, there's one every 10 years. So we're obviously due one, but when that will come, who knows? Brexit obviously could bring that on. I think a lot of people at the moment are a bit scared of what that means, and that's probably where less people are looking for properties. So that's where you're seeing a bit of a change in the market. Rental side, we're not seeing too much difference. And I think if there is a change in the market, that rental side won't change because there'll be more demand, if anything, in the rental side.
And it's hard to pinpoint if there is changes, if that's because of Brexit.
Who knows? Yeah, who knows what's Brexit?
Because
We could just put it on that, or is it just that the market's gone through its cycle anyway, and we'll get to that stage? It's obviously something that always causes that cycle to peak, but whether it's Brexit, whether it's not, I have no idea. Don't really pay too much attention, if I'm honest, to what's happening with Brexit because it's been up in the air for so long. So yeah, not going to get too fixated on that. But great question. If anyone's seeing anything different, that would be awesome to hear. So please do share. But also do check out Khalid's video cast. Khalid Maiden, he does video interviews every so often. So there's a great one with his broker recently where he talked through that. I'll try and share the link in here. It was really, really useful. So second question is, what are our property plans in the next 12 months? Do you want to start with this?
Yeah, so a number of things. So I think, well, you want to talk about the HMO? Do you want to talk about that bit first?
Yeah, so I guess at the moment what we've got on, so this isn't necessarily our aim for the next 12 months to continue with this field, but what we've got on the moment is 2 and a bit deals, I would say. So we have 3 HMOs that we're looking to purchase at the moment. So we've got a rent-to-rent that we're due to get the keys for around the 1st. So that's going to become a 5-bed HMO. So rent-to-rent, if you've not heard of it before, is where basically a landlord basically doesn't want to control their property anymore. We rent it from them, and then we change the structure of the property. So like instead of being a full single let, we do individual rooms, and then we keep the profit on top of that from them. So we've got one of those going on in Stoke, right in Hanley Town Centre, that we're getting the keys for around the 1st. Then we've got a 7-bed HMO that we're looking to complete on with our good friend Lewis Perrin in Liverpool, in Birkenhead. So we've just gone through the architect stage there, going through the broker and talking to the builder about schedule of work. So huge building again, over 3 floors. So excited about that one. And then we've got a 6-bed in Stoke that's a bit up in the air. So maybe you saw my video the other day where we was probably about a month into the process, instructed the surveyor, and when the surveyor went round, he found out the property had been repossessed, so the estate agent hadn't told us. So basically that means that the estate agents had to put it back on the market, going again. So we've got the advantage where we know as soon as it goes back on the market, I'll put my offer forward. Both the agents, interestingly, have gone, you could get it for less. So that's interesting to see what it does go on the market for. But yeah, a bit of a new field here. So that's why I say 2.5, because we know we could get the offer accepted again, but with repossession, people can gazump you up till the completion, basically up to exchange. So there are 3 projects we've got going on, but we're not keen to carry on with HMOs going forward. So we're keen to diversify our portfolio just to keep that, well, I guess, a safety, and be, by diversifying your portfolio, you have less risk. So don't want to just do HMO to HMO to HMO. So I'm not saying we're never going to do HMO again, but just for the time being, after these 3, we'll look to change strategy for a bit.
I think we originally chose HMO because we were like, what's the quickest way that we become financially free?
Yeah.
And HMO is a great way of making money fairly quickly in comparison to, say, buy-to-let. So we were like, right, let's focus our energy on that, which is what we have done.
Yes.
And now we have hit our financial freedom figure.
Yeah.
That's what we're thinking, okay, what else can we be doing now that we kind of have that, I guess, safety net in terms of the money coming in. I think money is not like the number 1 driver anymore. So like one of the things that I'm really passionate about is creating an experience. Well, I say we are really passionate about, is that we really want to create an experience for
Yeah, because we
people.
try and do that in our HMOs, but you can never capture that experience enough, because you can't really, I guess, like when you go and stay in like a hotel or an Airbnb or something like that, you can really have an experience of staying there, or like when you go on holiday, whereas with single lets and individual rooms, you can't really have that. So yeah, sorry, carry on.
Yeah, so that's what we would love to be doing, is probably over the next year, specifically probably looking more to the rent side of things and doing service accommodation with that, being able to create that experience, and ideally loving to look at holiday lets, and would love to be able to do that. Man, this great place, you can always go on holiday in your own place. But
yeah, that's one side of it. The other side, which is actually more important to us than that, is looking at kind of commercial to residential. So we want to build that base of buy-to-lets up again. So that gives us security, because buy-to-lets is such a solid investment, that if we can get a few more of those on our belt, it'd be fantastic. So the commercial to residential aspect means we can just do that bit in a different way, a bit more exciting way.
And a quicker way.
Because you
could buy 4 buy-to-lets, which means 4 different purchases, or you could buy 1 commercial property potentially, or any property, and then convert it into 4 flats.
Yeah, so
you've got 4 buy-to-lets.
Yeah, and it also means we're kind of growing as well. So we're doing something new that challenges us and keeps going. So yeah, really excited to explore that over the next year. So obviously we need to finish these. We've got enough going on with these HMOs to keep us busy till the end of the year, but we'll be looking for those sort of opportunities going forward. Next question is, what is your ultimate goal in life and business? So we were pretty similar with this. So if you want to go first, or you want me to?
Well, yeah,
we're both very similar, yeah.
We both were like, well, our ultimate goal in life is to be happy, which I think probably a lot of people's goal is. And then we were discussing what makes us happy.
Yes.
So like one of my like I write in my goals is I'm happy, I am fulfilled, and I am living my purpose.
Yeah.
And if I have a life like that, so I'm fulfilled and I'm happy and I am fulfilling my purpose in life, and that for me means that I'm making a difference in other people's lives and giving back, then that's my ultimate goal, is be able to give back, not on necessarily a big grand scheme of things like changing the world and making a difference, but just, you know, it'd be great if I could, but in terms of like with family, friends, just people I meet through my coaching and stuff like that. Life, like I would guess many of you on here, is to be happy.
So we just delved into that a bit more with regards to that fulfillment and purpose as well. So for me, when I'm fulfilled is when I'm growing a lot. So I've had this a lot in my life when I was doing any sports activity or anything in work, that I really love life when I'm growing and pushing myself. So that's when I know I'll be happiest. It's not that I'm just sitting and stagnating. I'm still growing. It doesn't have to be in property. It just needs to be in anything. I absolutely love what we do in this, but it needs to be continued to grow. And that's why we look for different avenues as well. Because that's when we're at happiest. Because I think, like I said, you're growing or you're dying. And for us, that's something quite meaningful. And that kind of leads to our purpose of just.
Yeah. And I think most people who feel genuinely fulfilled in life are because they're fulfilling the 2 human needs of growth, so growing and learning, and contribution and giving back and being able to make that difference.
Yeah, definitely. So important for us, contribution both to our family and just giving back in general. It doesn't mean that we necessarily want to change the world. We just want to give back, and whether it's just for our sharing our experiences like we are now, or just helping other people who are less fortunate than ourselves. So that brings us on to our last question, which we've had so far, and then we'll go on to a bit more about the importance of growing our network. And this links in quite nicely with that. So the question was, what is some of the best advice you've ever received, both property related and just in general?
It was actually a really hard question.
Really hard question. Yeah, trying to think of what advice you've had, like a lot of advice, or not even just, you don't necessarily get advice, you have a lot of conversations and some of them impact you different ways. So yeah, it's just quite hard to break down, wasn't it?
We thought, for both of us, it was very similar once again.
Yeah.
And I think it's that you haven't failed, you're just learning. You've learned something, so don't take failure as a bad thing.
No.
It's an opportunity to learn and grow, and that's massively helped us. So like on our first deal, I think we probably said in our last episode, we massively underestimated the build cost. But when we found out it was way over, we were like, yes! And
in our room, like celebrating. Like,
we were like, what? Yeah. You went over, you went under, and you were like, yeah, but
now we won it next time.
So much. So just looking at if there's a situation which isn't maybe going to after your failure, not what you thought it was going to be like, or you feel like you failed, or that it's just not working, to look at what you've gained and what you've learned from that.
Yeah, I think where this came up in a bit of advice for me personally was when we first started our journey. An old colleague I used to work with who was in property as well, he said to me, it was really actually quite prominent, he was like, it was a challenge I was coming, he just went, what's the universe trying to teach you right now? What's the universe trying to show you? So it might be that you're religious and you go, what's God trying to show me, or the universe if you're not religious? There's definitely something out there that has this greater power, whereas the universe is not, but what's it trying to show you? So that's the learning aspect. So rather than going, I'm just focusing on what's the negative, what can I learn from this, how can I grow from this, and what am I meant to take forward, rather than thinking, this is what I've lost, or this is what I should have done. It's what you're trying to become a better person from. So that was one big thing.
I think another thing was like follow your heart and do what makes you happy, not what makes other people happy, but do what makes you happy.
Definitely. So again, I used to have a lot of conversation with my boss at work, one of my old managers, and she was so useful to me. She used to have it was almost like a bit of coaching, and she always used to have a lot of conversations about what I was doing well, obviously like doing work, like this is what you've done well, this is how you could have done better. And she always used to kind of say to me, like, obviously when I'm at my best, I'm giving it my all. When I kind of hold myself back, I don't have the impact I want. So for me, it was like having no regrets, just give my all. You should give your all to everything, and that's what we try and do now, because through giving that all, you are just living that best life and just giving everything you can and having no regrets going forward. So yeah, it just really resonated with me, that bit of advice in life, just to give it all and never leave anything on the table, really. But yeah, so they are.
Yes, then that led us to talking about what would be a good thing, what advice would we give to other people. What was I saying? I can't remember what it was.
I think it was similar to the bit of advice you started with. It's exactly the same as that.
Oh yeah, that was it. I remember now. It was about surrounding yourself, because it linked in beautifully. You see, this is why I thought this would be perfect. It was about probably from looking at our property journey and where we are now. Best piece of advice I would give somebody who's going through something similar in terms of stepping outside their comfort zone, doing something a little bit different, either building their own business or doing property or something like that, was to surround yourself with people who are like-minded, that are going to push you forward, rather than just tell you, oh, don't worry about it. But actually those people who are like, no, you can go and do this, like you've got this. So that they are your drive, so that you're never kind of felt like you're like alone, but you're constantly striving to be a better person and to be the best person you can be. So I would say that would be my
and that was exactly the same as mine. That's why we came up with this topic of the importance of growing your network, because although you see us a lot online individually, there's a lot of people behind the sines who have helped us. We haven't done this on our own without the support of so many amazing people around us. If people look like they're doing it on their own, it's very unlikely. They say you can go far, like if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, you need to go together. So yeah, it's definitely about growing that network and having that support around you, because we've had so much support around us, and that's why we do, again, doing this as well, because we want to share that love as well and give back where we've received as well. Yeah, and
we want to just be really open and honest as well. And our experience of specifically this episode of where we've got to and how and who has helped us in the journey so far.
So just starting off, I guess, even when we first started in property, there were so many people who helped out with, like my old colleague from work, or a couple that we met on our first training course who were just so helpful to me in particular, where I remember I sending so many emails to one of them, and literally my emails probably, if you look in a text, it must have probably been like 12-page text or like a 5-page essay, literally like this question. I was used to be getting confused between like what's licensing, what's planning, and all those questions that you're not sure of at the beginning. And there's nothing wrong with not knowing the answer, but it was important that I went out and seek the answer. And he was so helpful, not just giving me the answer, just pointing to me to where I could find it. And just knowing I had that support just gave me an extra confidence level, knowing that I was going to go out and take the action, but I knew I had someone supporting me who was a bit further along, maybe a couple of years ahead of me, who I could tap into their knowledge and learn from them at the same time. So that was just so crucial.
That's the great thing.
Yeah.
About, well, that's what I found. The great thing about property, and it might be similar in other industries as well, but there's so many people out there that want to help you, that will happily give their their time, or have a chat with you for free, just to be able to help you on your journey. And people tell you where they invest, loads of different things. Because when we first started, we were like, oh, don't tell anyone where we invest. They might come there too. And actually, everyone's all about sharing and helping and pulling people up as opposed to pushing people down. Which has been great, and that's what's really helped us, I think, as well, because if you'd had negative experience by you asking for help and someone not giving it, potentially we wouldn't have been so open in seeking it. But because everyone's been so forthcoming and actively, looking to help others, it's been, really, really useful. Yeah,
and I think that's one thing as well. Like, never be afraid to ask for that help, because it's really served us so well. So it can be scary at times, but just put yourself out there, and people are more than willing to help. So even if it's just ourselves, come and ask us a question, and we're more than happy to give our time to help you out. But that was just the first instance. Then we just started generally just posting online a little bit. I remember posting online just a little bit of my journey, like I said on the last episode, about this is what property I was going to view, this is what I'm up to, and people were thinking I was buying a house for myself. So I wasn't really being out there. It was more, you'd see the property I was up looking at, or the property we was looking at, or you might see pictures of us in the car, but there was never these live videos. We wasn't doing that. So then I remember we was chatting about it, and we was thinking, what do most successful people have? And then Tasha was like thinking about this a lot. And then we were both at the same time, we're like, well, they have coaches. So I remember, again, the colleague that I used to work with at work, I remember messaging him going, we're thinking about getting a coach. What's your thoughts on this? We're only 3 months into our journey. Is it too soon? Is it not? And he said exactly the same thing, that most successful people have a coach. So you'll know, again, you'll know it's the right time to look for one. So we discussed this a bit further, and then
we were literally walking the dog going, I think we need a coach. Just to keep us accountable and push us. So although we can push each other, we're kind of more lenient, I guess.
I think you always are. You know each other's side, where you're a bit like, I don't want to push her too hard because don't upset her in the relationship, and then of course that conflict is having that balance. Whereas we knew a coach wouldn't have that issue with us. And it was like the universe knew that this is what we were looking for. But literally, it was either that day or the day after. Mark and Trisha Harvey, who I'm guessing a lot of you have probably heard of, we just messaged them because they were probably about 18 months ahead of us on their journey, and they're, obviously, as you probably know, very active on social media. And we were like, wow, look what they're doing, they're amazing. We just ended up having a chat with them, and they were like, oh, we would love to coach you. So we thought, what a great opportunity, because these people are where we want to be, so we can learn from them, and they know, they obviously look like they know what they're doing. So so we was looking at, again, that aspect of we didn't want someone who was too far ahead of us, like 20 years down the line, when they maybe didn't understand where we was at anymore because they've moved on too long. We was looking for someone who was just 1 or 2 steps ahead of us, and that was just perfect. Like, the universe knew that we were looking for them. So we literally that day were like, let's do this, let's go ahead. And that's helped us get to where we are today. The coaching has been so beneficial to us because, one, it kept us accountable, but we wouldn't be doing what we're doing online now without them pushing us and making us break through boundaries. I remember the first time they were pushing me to do a live, and I was like, I don't even know what to talk about. And if you literally go back to the video, it's probably awful, but I was doing a video on the law of attraction. I literally got off the video, head in hands, like, he was at the top of the stairs. Oh my God, that was the worst thing I had ever done. Thinking it was awful. Watching back, it wasn't that bad, but I broke through that fear of getting out there online, and that was thankful to having a coach and then pushing us. So that was just one way that obviously that's helped us grow through being with them, the support they've given us, and just everything else that's come with that. The biggest impact for me having a coach, it was really interesting because I am a coach.
but strangely, I don't have a coach myself. So I coach other people, but I don't offer, it's not in obviously the area, it wasn't in the area of property.
Yeah.
So having a coach has actually helped me massively step outside my comfort zone.
Yeah.
And if you met me a couple of years ago, I was completely different to who I am
yeah.
now. Like I was still, I guess I was still more extroverted than some, but I wouldn't be doing the things that I'm doing now. And I definitely wouldn't be doing this live right now.
No, not at all.
Like, I just remember watching other people's videos thinking, wow, I'd love to be able to do that, but that's never going to happen. So just having the confidence to take actions forward, I think that's been the biggest impact for me, is confidence and self-belief in me.
Definitely.
Which has then allowed other opportunities to come my way.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I don't think probably would have if we hadn't gone down that
No,
journey.
not at all. I don't think, if we'd not gone with them, we wouldn't have had half the finance we've raised, because a lot of that's come for us pushing ourselves out line and going different events and stuff like that. We wouldn't have grown as people as much. We wouldn't be in the situation doing these lives and just working on ourselves and sharing all this with you. We'd just be keeping to ourselves through that fear, but that accountability and that growth between ourselves with our coaches were absolutely amazing. And we're just so grateful for having that, because it's got us to where we are today. So have you got anything else on that at all?
On coaching?
Yeah.
No, I think it's just looking for the right coach to sit you, because you obviously have to find the right person that you're going to gel with.
Yeah, definitely.
And that has the same values as you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that, coaching, I now know that coaching is necessary.
Yeah,
probably,
so useful. Yeah. I think anyone who's had a coach realises that it's so beneficial to them going forward. You don't know what you don't know, so until you've had one, you don't realise how useful it is, and then when it's gone, you realise how beneficial it is for that accountability and to just push you to the next level continuously. When you think, I can relax, they're like, no, you've got another level to go to.
It's definitely that accountability where they're going to come on back and they're going to be like, so did you do this?
Yeah.
And you're like, and then they'll be like, so why didn't you do it? What are you going to do differently? And you're like, oh, okay. It's harder to not do it.
Yeah.
Even if you don't want to. Like, I think one of our tasks was to, I'll just go and knock on someone's door and ask if they know of anyone.
Just a random house. Just like, are they, ask if anyone's looking to sell a house in the neighbourhood. So you literally like standing outside like, you ring the bell. No, like, and then you do it and you're like, it's not that bad. And they were just like, no, I don't know anyone. So you go on to the next house. It's just ways
we would never have given each other that task.
No, not at all. You wouldn't even thought of it. It's just, again, that aspect where you don't realise how beneficial it can be, and that's gets over those fears.
I think what else I found beneficial is getting someone to reflect what they can see in us. Because when you're like, obviously it's harder to see what's going on sometimes, and then be able to pull out when what you didn't even realise was an issue or holding you back was being really beneficial. Yeah,
definitely. They always see more in you than you see in yourself, but they'll never want it more than you. So they're trying to push you to get to that feeling that you can be the best you can be. So it's just amazing in that sense. Really beneficial to us, and it's grown us and got us against so many more people in our network. That's helped us. Obviously, we talked about the deal that we're taking forward with Lewis without going through the coaching and being part of the tribe. We would never have had that. So amazing. So after we then had the coaching, we was obviously building our network outside of online. So basically through our power teams, like our solicitor, but mainly our builder, those sort of power teams. So our builder has been so amazing to us. So Wayne Demant and W Demant Property Group properties have been property maintenance have been so amazing for us. So firstly, like we said last week, the first deal we ever got once we decided to go full-time into property was via him passing us a deal, and it was so amazing. But just since then, just the amount of help he's given us, just taking time to chat to us through different issues and what's going on with refurbs, and when we have looking at properties, he'll happily share his time with us. And that's all through building a relationship with him that we couldn't have had, and he points in the direction of other people. So when we're looking for someone in our local area that we don't know, he will know them. So the benefit of having that connection is amazing. So just so grateful for that aspect, for meeting him and basically just taking the time to connect with someone again that you can work with, because we spent a lot of time finding the right builder. We had a lot of meetings with different builders, and sometimes you straight away know you don't click with someone, or there's going to be a bit of conflict there. Whereas when we were working with him, we knew it was going to be really good. Hopefully that continues obviously going forward, because it's going really well for us so far, and really happy with what we're getting. But again, you just don't know what's going to come out of a connection. So like I said, with that deal coming, and he's always passing other ones that could come to us that could be useful. So we're talking with him about another deal at the moment that could be beneficial to us. So you just don't know what's going to come out of these connections going forward. So that importance of that network is so crucial to you without you even knowing who can bring you.
It's a bit like a domino effect.
Yeah.
It's like you meet someone and then they introduce you to someone, and then that opens another door of opportunity, and then that opens another door. And that's what I never really thought would happen.
No, not at
I
all.
never envisaged that we'd be doing, you know, other different things. We'd be meeting
No.
different people through obviously meeting other people.
Yeah, you don't realise how important it can be. Like, they used to say it to us, obviously, at school and at work, like obviously building your network, but it never quite felt the same, where you were going for that conversation with someone. It always felt like people were doing it because they had to rather than they wanted to.
So everyone's like, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah, but now you really see the benefit of that. Is so true in life. So yeah, obviously just continue to build that network. It's so important. So then we had sorry, I nearly skipped one. You can talk about this one.
And then what we also did was, we obviously wanted to build our network, and so we went networking.
Yeah.
So we went and started with, well, basically went to the nearest one to us, which was the PIN, so Property Investors Network, which is also in Essex. So we started there, and we were like super keen. Regan, who hosts it, was like, "We're looking for helpers." We were like, "Yes, us."
Literally the first one we've been to.
So we thought, what a great way to be able to, you know, go every week, learn and meet different people. So I've really enjoyed doing that.
Really great. Got some great friends
make
from
some
that.
Great connections through that.
The amount you learn from that as well. Again, by being the other side, from not just being the audience, from sitting there and helping people along the way. Like the amount of people that come to you and you just share little snippets of what you've learned and what you're up to, and it just inspires people, motivates people. And again, through that, we've had the opportunity to present there, which has been amazing. We'd never thought we'd be presenting at the Property Investors Network in our local area, which we've done, was amazing. So all different things we've done at the beginning of this year. So these little things, you just don't know what they're going to lead to. And who knows where that'll lead to in the future as well. So you just don't know. And absolutely, love that. We obviously, even just this month, we just went out for a nice dinner with them all because there's no event in August. So instead of just not seeing each other, we went for a nice dinner, had a catch up, just talked about life and property in general. So of course, talked about property because that's our thing common. But yeah, it's just nice just to see each other and have that relationship as well. It's just meeting so many people along the way that we didn't realise we would have these connections with. So then in October last year as well, we had a mentor. So a mentor is very different to a coach. So he was literally out in the field with our mentor, and he was so useful to us because again, we saw how someone works when they're out and about, which was very different. So I remember there was one point where we were looking at a commercial building and we was looking to turn it into service accommodation. So he was like, one moment, and there was a hotel across the street, and he literally legged it across the street just to ask how many rooms they had in there and how much they were rented for each night. And I was like, okay, that's a different level I need to get to, because I would not have even thought about doing that. And I just saw his passion of doing that, and I thought we were being passionate just the way we're looking around.
He reacted there and then. What we were doing was, oh, should we? And then we'd talk ourselves out of doing it. Like, oh, let's take a photo and we'll call that sign tomorrow, but then it never happened. Yeah, because that little voice in your head just takes over. So seeing him do that went, okay, now we react. And he would make us react as well. So he'd be like, there's a house for sale there with a number on it, call it. Or like, make your offers now. Even though we were good at making offers, he was like, do it now. So like, we were just having to take action there and then. So it's so useful. And off the back of that is how we got our 8-bed HMO and our 4-bed HMO, because it was the areas that we were looking at with him. So beneficial to go out in the field with someone and just have that different experience by seeing how someone else works when they're out and about. So really, really useful in that sense. And then to the next one. Yeah, so then probably one of the biggest impacts for me, and I think I mentioned it in terms of my advice that I would give to people, is make sure you're surrounding yourself by people. So I found it particularly challenging because I love people, and I thrive when I'm around people. Like, that is when I'm at my happiest, is when I'm around people that I like generally. So for me, I found it really lonely in this property journey, especially when Ray was working, and I remember sitting in.
No, it can be. I'm still like, the days when I'm at home on my own, it's very lonely. You don't talk to anyone. Like, you're just there at home alone, and you're just talking to Douglas. Like,
he's our dog.
Yeah, no, he's our dog. Is he trying to go for a walk? Do you want to do, like, just like messing around him? Because no one's talked to apart from when the phone rings or I pick up the phone to someone. You don't see someone, so it is very lonely at times.
And there were points where I remember when. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I'll say it again in case I didn't say it before, or new people on here. But there was a point where I remember sitting in the car, and I remember dressing our first HMO, but there was a point where we were about to complete on another property. We had the money to do one or the other. We had the refurb on our second property that we were buying that we needed to pay, but we also were about to complete on the third one. And I only had money for one, and it was really stressing me out. because we needed to find money quickly. So my stress levels were like through the roof. I don't deal that great with stress. What I do is probably a very standard woman thing, and I just cry. So I was,
At least you let it out there.
yeah, at least I let it out. I was just literally sitting there in the car, like, I like calling Ray, and Ray was just like, I don't know what I can do, like, because one, I wasn't talking, so he couldn't really communicate with me.
And two, I had a meeting in like 10 minutes. So I was like, I haven't got time to deal with it because I was at work at the time.
And what I found hard was I didn't have anyone else to call, because all my friends, they don't do property, so they wouldn't get where they may have gone like, oh well, you don't need to do what you're doing, kind of go back to what you do well, or I don't want to call my mom because she'd worry about me.
Yeah.
So I just literally felt so alone, and this is where which I found most beneficial. So obviously we said that we went and started getting coached by Trisha and Mark, and then since we started doing that with them, they created the Real Life brand group, and we obviously became part of that, which is just helped me massively, because I'm now connected with so many other people who are either at the same level, above me, or below me. In terms of, when I say below me, I mean, they're not as far in their journey as me.
Well recovered.
And now I've got so many people I can just call, or I could just go on the group, which I know is such a safe, closed group community, but I've never known such a supportive group of people. Yeah,
it is so amazing, like Tash said, that knowledge that you can just call anyone, they'll support you when you need it. You just need someone to talk to, or you want someone who's been in the situation before. There's always someone who's been through it in the tribe, and it's so amazing to know you have that support network around us. When we found with a lot of different courses we went on, they were missing that sort of really good network. Even though we were making a lot of connections, there wasn't that close knit where you could just call anyone at any time. And it was just so amazing for us to have that and build friendships that we see each other on a nice regular basis now. And
they feel like family.
Yeah, even some of the people we haven't met, you feel like you've known them for like most of your life, and you would literally, you saw us like going out for dinner, you wouldn't know that we probably met for the first time that night, even though we'd been talking online a lot. If you saw us, you probably think we've been friends for like years, which is crazy to know you had that connection with people through the way it's been built.
And it's just so accepting. So I think that's probably my biggest thing in terms of in our journey. And obviously, as I said before, the advice that I give people is to just make sure you're surrounded by the right people that are going to support you no matter what and push you, and not be that crab in the bucket. When you're in I don't know if you've heard this, but if you put a crab in a bucket on its own, it will crawl out. But if you put a crab in a bucket with lots of other crabs, as that crab tries to crawl out, the others will pull it down. So I don't think so.
No, you'll come here, so they'll all be stuck in there forever. So it's so important to have that support mechanism around you, not be that crab. So we've just found, obviously, they're just a few examples of how we've built our network and how it's been important to us. Hopefully they can show you just how we haven't done this alone and how it has been so important to us. I know a lot of people, when you watch them online, it can seem like they're doing amazing and they're doing it on their own, but trust me, we haven't done it on our own. We've had a lot of support there, and we couldn't have done half the things we've done without that support mechanism behind us. We've had a lot of challenges, and like Tasha said, we've worked on them going like their learnings, but it's still great to have that network around you to bounce off of. So grow your network, go networking, go and meet amazing people, speak to people online, drop them a message. They'll be more than willing to help. But we've just met some amazing people over the last couple of years that we're so thankful for, and just can't imagine this journey without meeting them. We wouldn't be where we were without them. So it's literally been amazing.
So, and it was also helped us, because now we're so willing and we so want to help others. So if any of you on here have any questions, obviously we are more than happy to answer them, whether it be on another episode of this or one-to-one. We also do coaching now as well. So if you want to know more about that, let us know.
We'll just arrange a call and we'll have a chat about what you're looking to do, and that'd be amazing. But there's just so many people out there who are willing to help. So just drop us a message, and where we can help, or if we don't know the answer ourselves, we'll point you in the direction of someone who does. So, and
if you're interested to know more about being part of the Real Life family, then Mark and Trisha are holding their next free event, which is a two-day event, which is going to be amazing. Unfortunately, we can't go there. We are going to watch The Greatest Showman live. Well, not live. Well,
Outdoors.
Outdoors, there we go.
Outdoor cinema experience.
Outdoor
Yes,
cinema.
Joey says live. It's not live.
I want it to be live, but it's not. So we can't be there, unfortunately. But it's on the 14th and 15th of September. It is free. I think you can pay like £1, which secures your ticket. So when I say free, I think it's £1. But for 2 whole days of learning, growing, and as I said, meeting lots of new people that you can start building your network with.
And it's not just going to be property related, even though it's property focused. You're going to learn so much about yourself there. So I would recommend going, because you will break through some barriers you didn't even know you had. So it's amazing for that. And I don't even know what they've got in store in 2 days. I'm intrigued. I'm kind of going, you're not going to be there, because it's always been a one-day event. So yeah, go along if you're free that weekend. Got nothing to lose. It'd be amazing for you. Yeah, definitely. And mentoring, you can come and talk to us about mentoring. Yeah, talk to us, drop us a message. We'll have a chat offline. Yeah, more than happy to have a chat. But yeah, so thank you. Yes, I hope it's been useful for you all. And joining us. Any questions? Obviously, we're going to do this every 2 weeks on a Tuesday. So I'm not sure when the next one is. But yeah, 2 weeks Tuesdays at 8 p.m. So any questions or topics? We've had a couple of people suggest topics. Yeah, just let us know. And we will talk to you all then. Yeah. And if you are interested in going to the real life event, I forgot to say, I'll put the link in the comments in case you did want to find out a bit more information. Yeah. So yeah, pop a link to that, and we'll pop a link to Khalid's video class that I mentioned at the beginning as well, just so you can watch that, because it's really useful on the Brexit question where he interviewed that broker. So different people he's talking to going forward. So yeah, we'll pop both of them in here. And as always, have a fantastic week, and we'll speak to you soon. Take care, everybody. Take care.